Hello and welcome to World Talks on TVP World with me, Ashim Kumar. Poland is positioning itself at the centre of Europe's rearmament effort as the largest beneficiary of the EU's new SAFE programme. Warsaw is set to receive nearly 44 billion euros from a 150 billion euro defence investment scheme that it helped to design during its EU Council presidency. The funds will support drones, AI space projects, border protection and critical infrastructure, alongside Poland's landmark decision to buy Sweden's A-26 submarines, a move reshaping Baltic security. Joining us is Magdalena Sobkowiak-Czarnecka, Deputy Secretary of State for EU Affairs. Magdalena, welcome back to TVP World. Thanks for taking the time.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, not only working on the EU affairs, but I'm government plenipotentiary for SAFE program.
Oh, okay. So you're exactly the right person to be talking to.
Yes,
so
I am.
Tell us all about it, Magdalena. Where's the money coming from and how is the decision to allocate made?
So EU never has been so strongly in the defense issues. Normally for the European Union, the defense issues were only about defense industry. There was some kind of a division between NATO, which was responsible and still is responsible for military, and in terms of EU, it was only about defense capabilities. During Polish presidency, which has just ended in June, there came the idea that we should put some money on the table for defense capabilities. The idea came from here, from Warsaw, since we are the country being in the neighborhood of the war zone. So it was the quickest negotiations in the EU ever, because it took 72 days to have a final decision between the member states to put money on the table for the SAFE program. It is 100 billion euro for all member states. After all, when the program get into the power, only 19 member states decided to be a part of it. And in summertime, we applied for amounts to the European Commission, how much every member state needs to. And the Commission really wanted to have two parts of the SAFE program. They thought that 150 billion euro will be enough for everybody for 2 or 3 rounds. But it turned out that during one round, money is off the table. So we are now in a moment when Poland sent to Brussels the investment plan. We're supposed to do it till 30th of November. We put in the plan 139 projects, specified projects, the one that you mentioned in your introduction. And now we are waiting for the judgment of the Commission. Will we get this money? This money is a loan. It's a low percentage loan, but still a loan. Okay. We expect the decision of the Commission in 6 weeks. Then the decision moves to the Council. So the Council is the place where the member states are talking again. And then we will sign the investment agreement with the Commission, I suppose, in mid-March. So we are applying for the biggest part of the SAFE program.
Yeah, I want to go into all of those areas, especially the last point you made. But a couple of other interesting points you made. The first, only 19 of the states actually participated. What does that mean? Only 90 of them contributed to this pot of money?
No, only 19 countries were interested in taking the loan. So there are different reasons. Some of the reasons are that the member states have a different approach for buying the equipment, since there are special requirements inside of the SAFE program, which says that 65% of the ingredients of the product should be made in EU, and the producer company should be established in EU. In practice, it throws away US and Korean products which are quite popular inside of the EU. That's one of the reasons. The second reason is that if you put your ear around the EU, there are member states like Poland who are saying defense first, but when you are moving to the southern countries, they are thinking about other expenditures, not only the defense expenditures, since they are far more from the war zone than we are.
Right.
Here.
So strategically, their priorities are different. So tell me about the strategic thinking behind SAFE. I mean, as you said, we have NATO, and all these countries belong to the NATO alliance. Why was there a need for this additional fund to be created?
There are 4 reasons. The first one is that in the MFF, the EU budget that we are now in the middle of, there is no money for defense capabilities. There could come new money in the new MFF, but it will come in 2028, and we have war right now. The second one is that due to the war, we need to build our defense capabilities, and we are lacking out of money here in the EU. The third one is to make the EU defense industry stronger, since we don't have the strongest defense industry in the world. And the fourth one, and that was the intention of the Commission, to engage the member states to invest in the defense industry. So one of the rules inside of the SAFE program is that we need to apply 2 or 3 member states together to buy the same product. But Poland was the one to call European Commission to postpone this rule and it will start from May 2026. And all the purchases that we do between May 2025 and May 2026, we can do in a single procurement procedure. Okay. And in the terms of Poland, most of the purchases will be done like this, since we are in actual need because of the war.
Understood. Now, in terms of the process or the criteria that the EU uses in the allocation of the funding, what are the main criteria, apart from the fact that everything needs to be made in the EU, or a proportion of the raw materials need to be made in the EU? What else?
It should be spent on defense capabilities, and it is said in the EU law, very specified, what kind of armaments you can buy using SAFE program. So it's not about safety in the very or security in the very range in the big range of ideas, as we had in the presidency, that we said that there's a food supply security, energy security, and so on. It's only about the security in the military area. Okay. So we can, for example, use it for drones or anti-drones. We are, as a Poland, we are also building the Eastern Shield, and lots of this money coming from SAFE mechanism will be spent of building the Eastern Shield program, also for the SAFE program, SAFE Baltic Sea program, which is mostly about how we can protect the critical infrastructure on the bottom of the Baltic Sea. Then there is a special case about the missiles and anti-missiles programs, but also we as a country, we decided to put the SAFE program a bit broader, and the Ministry of Infrastructure is also into it because of military mobility projects. Just to tell our viewers what is the military mobility, is to adjust roads, bridges or railways.
The infrastructure.
The infrastructure that the military equipment could be moved through through this infrastructure, but this is also something that regular citizens will use it. And also the Interior Ministry is on board with the border guards, who are also the part of the Eastern Flank Watch.
Understood. Okay. Now it's a large amount, about 44 billion euros that Poland is applying for. Assuming that Poland does get it, what is the process? I mean, clearly there are going to be checks and balances on how it's spent and over what time period it is given to Poland. How does that work?
All the money should be spent till 2030, and all the products that we are buying should be delivered to 2030. This is one of the reasons why the ORCA program, the one that you mentioned in the introduction about the Swedes, it's not a part of a SAFE program because it won't be finished before 2030. So that's the main condition. After signing the agreement in March, we will get 15% of the amount, and then we will getting the rest of the amount as long as the projects will be delivered. Because in our investment plan that we sent to Brussels, we already specified 139 products that we want to buy. And if we will dig into the list is classified, so I cannot tell you the names of the products, but we do some maths on that, and it has shown that 89% of the whole amount will stay in Polish defense industry, which is absolutely the world record. There was no approach like this in Poland, that we will put so much money in our national defense industry. So it's an absolutely new way of thinking how to build a stronger defense industry in Poland.
So does that mean buying less from countries like South Korea?
Yeah, Of course,
Right.
of course.
So tanks, for example, would be built here rather than...
The idea is, when I took the position, I said that yes, we are spending the most in EU for defense capabilities. We are spending almost the most among the NATO member states. We are getting the biggest part of SAFE program, so we should have the defense industry #1 in Europe. For me, it's obvious.
Right. OK, now, President Trump, Pete Hegseth, his Secretary of Defense, made a statement in Washington very, very recently, today, I believe, or yesterday it might have been. But anyway, the point was that he was saying, you know, our allies, our European allies, are not children. They should look after themselves. They should stand on their own 2 feet. And he singled out Poland for praise. And he said that, you know, they were prepared to grant special favours to Poland. So will the SAFE programme further reinforce the US support of Poland and surrounding areas?
First, the idea of the SAFE program is to reinforce Polish military and defense capabilities, the Polish defense capabilities. But we are the part of the NATO, and then NATO is about making allies. So, of course, we can have a strong, we can have a lot of defense capabilities, but it works well if it works together. So I'm very glad that Pete Hegseth had made this statement underlying Poland as a very good friend and ally, which is a good signal for the future.
Right. So in terms of the overall, I mean, what's this message sending? What's the message that's being sent now? If you look at the Russian aggression in Ukraine, the war that they're causing, is it something that's sending enough of a message to Russia? Look, you know, don't think about invading any countries after Ukraine because we're ready for you. You think it's strong enough, or do we need more?
We always need more, but of course we are sending this message every day, and also we are helping Ukraine, because the front line for Poland is also the front line between Ukraine and Russia. So also the part of the SAFE program is the idea of helping Ukraine. So we will have joint programs with Ukraine inside of the SAFE program. So as long as Ukraine will defend themselves, we can be safe here in the Western Europe. And if they not, we are starting to be in trouble.
So supporting the Ukrainian defence industry is in everybody's interests, including Poland's. Unfortunately, we're going to have to end it there, Magdalena. But as always, thank you so much
for
sharing all this new information
Have a nice
with
evening.
our audience. Have a nice evening. And that brings us to the end of this episode of World Talks. But as always, don't go away. Lots more coming up. Goodbye.